All right, let's do some more of this. A couple of matters of business I was asked to take care of before we get too much further along. One, and this came from the Riverwalk board, which is kind of a separate entity that looks over what we do. They wanted us to get a feel for how many of the people here in the room are volunteers of any sort. Whether you act, whether you do the lights, the sound, the props, the costumes, raise your hand, because yeah, I'm not quite sure they understand. That's kind of what tonight is a celebration of the volunteers. Practically every one of you have something to do with Riverwalk Theater, and we're all so terribly grateful to that. Now, practically every single one of you have something to do with Riverwalk Theater. Not nearly all of you are members of Riverwalk Theater. You can ask practically anybody how to join. I'd start with Brian. Or there's a donation box outside as you leave. Just put some money in that. That will do just fine. We rely heavily on contributions and memberships. Far more expenses here than we take in with the admission charges. So please help us out. Feel good about being a part of Riverwalk by joining Riverwalk. All right. End of lecture. Let's get back to it. Bob Grass. Oh, I loved Bob Grass. Bob Grass ruled, Tim. That's absolutely right. The Bob Grass Black Box Award here to present. Oh, God damn it, it's them again.
By this remarkable individual. The production was nothing short of awe-inspiring. Directing a large cast is a monumental task of its own, but this director took it to new heights, tackling a complex 3-level set, a poignant story about family dysfunction, and delivering one of the most iconic performances I've ever witnessed in the Lansing area, all while a beloved volunteer shimmied to the sounds of Eric Clapton. It was a true masterclass in directing. From that moment on, I made it my personal mission to work with this director, should the opportunity arise. And I have been incredibly fortunate to do so, collaborating with them on several occasions, both on stage and as a performer in their productions. Let me tell you, everyone should aspire to share this goal. They are a force to be reckoned with. Passionate, thoughtful, direct, audacious, funny, vulnerable, and utterly spectacular in the way they breathe life into a story. This year, we were doubly blessed to have them bookend our Black Box season. They opened with a stunning performance in Admissions, a work wrought with complexity, struggle, humor, and defiance. And in the final Black Box show, Moonglow, they once again stood at the helm, captivating audiences. The shared emotional responses that occurred during the second act of Moonglow is a moment that I will never forget. Watching the audience come together, sharing tissues and tears as we witness the story of 2 Alzheimer-impacted individuals navigating the final life cycle of love, memory, and loss. It was a bask in the glow of the moonlight itself. Emily Clark's work this season, and indeed across the Lansing theater community, year after year, is a testament to her artistry and unwavering dedication. I can think of a no better recipient for this year's Bob Grass Award than she. Her impact on our community is truly unparalleled. This year's award winner is Emily Clark.
And I thank you so much. I just thank you. Thank you.
To present some more technical awards, please welcome Alan Greenberg and one proud husband, Gordon Hicks Clark.
The ongoing debate always rages as to which of these is truly the most important to a show. Of course, lights has to be a strong consideration. The nominees for Best Lighting Design are Amy Jo Brown for The Trail to Oregon, Coach Skromowski for Rocky Horror, Joseph Dixon for The Exonerated, and Ted Daniel for Admissions.
And the Barney goes to Kozamowski!
Yeah, we got the info.
I just slowly fade the lights out. So you're in my power now, so. No, I'll be quick. For any of you who know me, I've done Rocky Horror 3 times, and the last time I did it, it was bad. It was not a great thing. So I really went into this hoping I could make some good memories instead of having bad ones. So thank you to Shannon and Aaron and all them. I couldn't have done it without the encouragement from you guys. So thank you, and enjoy the rest of the night.
At Riverwalk, we're blessed to have incredibly talented lighting designers. They're so... This is the sound. It's the sound. The sound designers are so picky and...
But right up with lights is sound design. And our amazing sound designers.
There we go. Okay. And the nominees for the Best Sound Design are Joseph Dixon, Rocky Horror. Kelly Jo Garland, The Exonerated. Leon Green, Admissions. And Leon Green, The Trail to Oregon.
And the Barney for Best Sound Design goes to Joseph Dixon, Rocky Horror.
job for him. And that includes Dale, Arbor, and Leon Green. Thank you so much on behalf of Joe. He was a master at this. We really appreciate all of his dedication and hard work.
Finally, imagine being out on stage, as some of you, most of you have been, trying to stay in character and focused in on the action, and then all of a sudden you have to reach for a prop that isn't there. The last one. Oh my God.
Oh
no! Is it over? You got, oh my God. Yeah, it's happened. See, it's happened. Okay, well, okay. Oh, yeah.
Okay, that was close. And the nominees for Best Prop Design are Adam Carlson, Rocky Horror. And his The Trails of Oregon. Barney Lucas for Admissions. Diane Cook and Bernie Lucas for Christmas Bells.
And the Barney goes to Bernie Lucas.
Well, thank you. I'm not wearing black. So once a year, they don't have to see me in my ninja gear, so I would like to do that. Thank you so much. So thank you.
Including one actress that you just obliterated emotionally 5 minutes ago. Please welcome the cast of Admissions.
Who did this?
Jesus, you scared me.
Who did this?
Did what?
How long have you been standing there?
I just got into Middlebury.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh shit.
Who did this? It was you, wasn't it?
You got into Middlebury.
Who did this?
We both did.
Why would you do that when I explicitly asked you not to?
You got into Middlebury.
I'm not going.
Oh, yes, you are.
Oh no, I'm not.
Oh, yes, you are.
No, I'm going to
Community college? Guess what? That's not happening.
Not happening.
Not happening.
Oh, it's happening.
Oh, no, it's not.
If you want to go to community college, you're paying for it.
Oh, Bill.
I know. That was the whole point.
Terrific. Great. Have fun paying for that, Charlie. I can tell you from first-hand experience what a joy it is to earn the kind of money you need to pay for school. And you'll be paying all of your expenses because you're not living here while you go to community college.
Bill.
I'm 18. I can do what I want.
Terrific. You do that, Charlie.
No, you won't do that. Charlie, do you understand the difference between going to Middlebury and going to community college?
That's not the point. That's not why I'm doing this.
We know. You're doing this because you're a martyr. The great white martyr. But let's think it through. See, you're not living here while you go to some shit school, so what are you gonna do? You'll have to find some place to live, and maybe you'll find a moldy basement apartment somewhere. And then you'll get a job tossing pizzas or bussing tables to pay for said shithole apartment. You will never see your friends. You'll never do anything fun because you'll be scrimping and saving to pay for tuition and cell phone bills and electric bills and health insurance. Also, you can make some point about white privilege by taking shitty classes at some podunk piece of shit little school. I don't think so. No. What you are going to do is you will go to Middlebury, which we will pay for. And then you'll get your little degree in English or history or whatever floats your little fancy. And then you can go out and do whatever you want. But I have this feeling that, Sherry, cover your ears. I have this feeling that you are going to be up in Vermont this winter, sleeping with some very attractive young undergraduate. Because you will have time to do that. Because you won't have to worry about rushing from the pizza shift to the busboy shift. And just as you are all warm and toasty in your little dorm room, pumping away this hot little undergrad, you are going to think to yourself, thanks, Dad! Dad was right. This really is a hell of a lot better than community college. How's that for fucking being with you?
You're gonna love Middlebury. I just know it.
Mom, no!
Oh, come here, honey.
No, you guys make no sense. Everything I do is wrong. It's really confusing.
It's not confusing. It's very simple. We love you. We want the best for you.
No, what you want is for me to be just like you. Because I guess you think you're like nailing life. But actually, my worst nightmare would be turning out like you. You can't even see yourself. You can't even see yourself. You think you spent your whole life championing the underdog? Did you ever stop to think who got shoved out of the way so that you could do it? Oh, you're happy to make the world a better place as long as it doesn't cost you anything. You know, that's what it should say on your tombstone. Bill Mason made the world a better place and it did cost him a thing. I'm sorry, that's not entirely fair. It did cost you one thing. Occasionally, you let yourself feel guilty. But that's still like the only price you're willing to pay and still get everything you want. You know, call me naive. But if people could make the world fairer without sacrificing anything, it would have happened by now. It hasn't. You are like the last generation of white men who say one thing, do another, and just keep climbing the stairs of your ivory tower. Well, I am trying to be intentional about my climb, okay? How can I honestly look at any situation, any school I might want to go to, any job I might want, and think, gee, that place should really be more diverse. But also, may I have a seat at this table? Give me a seat. I'll do everything I can to keep out other people that look like me. What is honorable about that? I don't want to blindly climb my way to the top, pretend everything's going to take care of itself, and then burn the staircase behind me and try and make a difference over there, down there, in some other area that doesn't affect me at all. The way you did. The way you fucking did. You think you're some kind of hero? You're not a hero, Dad. You are a hypocrite.
Enough. Enough. This stops now. Bill, Charlie, you go to Middlebury. The end.
That's not what I want.
Well, you don't have a choice.
How do I not have a choice? It's my life. Legally, I can do
Oh, fuck legally. Charlie. Just stop it. Stop it. Stop. Just go to Middlebury, okay? Please.
But then you don't have the money for the scholarship.
Oh, well.
How is that fair?
Because it is.
How is it fair?
Because I said
But
so.
how is it fair?
Because you're my son. You are my son. Just go to Middlebury. Accept their offer and go. You don't have to understand why.
Well, okay, that was something. One of the fun, interesting things about this season is that a lot of our directors were also actors. Yeah. Aaron was in Moonglow. Aiden Supel, maybe not the best example. Heath directed, just not here. And 3 of our next 4 presenters were also actors this season. The rest of our directors presenting their backstage awards: from The Exonerated, Alan Greenberg; from Amadeus, Amy Rickett; from Moonglow, Emily Clark; and from James and the Giant Peach, Linda Widener.
The Exonerated tells the stories of 6 people just like us who are arrested, tried, convicted, sentenced to death, and spend time on death row before they're finally found to be exonerated. This play was written over 20 years ago, and yet the issue is still poignant today. Harry Max Cook, for those of you who came, one of the stories told in the show just last week was granted final exoneration by the state. 20 years ago, when they wrote this show, he already been out of prison for several years after spending 20 years in prison. That's how long it's taken for the end of this ordeal to come to someone who wasn't even in the state when the crime occurred. When I proposed this show to the board, one of the things I knew is, as a first-time director, I needed to make sure that I had a really solid assistant director and stage manager. And last year I had the privilege, I got brought in at the last minute to work backstage at Fabulation. And I got to watch Vanessa Majangara and her approach and her technique and all of the different perspectives that I knew immediately she could bring to a show like this. That before the show had even been accepted by the board, I had already hit Vanessa up about, would you consider coming out and stage managing and assistant directing with me? Vanessa can't be here tonight, but I can tell you that there's no one in the cast who would disagree with this, or the crew. Vanessa definitely helped shape the show and it would have been a very different show without her.
Yes.
And as stage manager, I can tell you, when you have something go wrong, like an actors get 5 pages of script, how do you notice it? And that was Vanessa's work to make sure the cast was ready through dress rehearsal process, to make sure that when it happened, she was in the lighting booth working with the light and sound people to make sure that the other actors could get cued and bring it back to where it was. I really wish she could be here tonight. She can't, but thank you very much to Vanessa for making The Exonerated everything.
The earlier remarks about Robinson said, this is the hardest thing for me to award, because everybody that volunteers to be a part of a production crew backstage is invaluable. You cannot run a show by yourself. It takes a village, and they should all receive recognition. And if you've noticed, they all work on all the shows. They are not just my crew. They are the A-team that works across all shows. So for that, just give them a hand. Moving along, but I just prepared a few remarks about what I wanted to say.
5 pages.
Yeah. So these aren't remarks. This is the costume plot for Amadeus. These are every jabot, button, shoe, sock, wig, pantaloons, corsets. It was an 18th century show, and we did it here at Riverwalk Theater. So, my backstage Barney only has one name on it because that was all they could do. But this really does go to my chief, my leader, my pulled in every favor to make this show a reality. And without Chris Meyer, I could not have done this show. Ashley Hamilton, Rebecca Doan, Lori Bailey Smith, Camara Lewis, Lee Helder, Marina White, Amanda McComber, Jana Nickel, Chris Kennedy, Shelley Peterson, Susan Adzik, Kate Kosikin, I don't mind it, thank you, Katie Doyle, Lisa Pappas, Kathy Woodring. They opened the costume shop outside of hours. They worked tirelessly to put 19 people and a baby on board in beautiful, beautiful costumes. But Chris, honest to God, I am blessed every day for our partnership. You were amazing. You told me I needed things I didn't know I needed. I couldn't have done this show, honest to God, without her. And she deserves every bit of credit. Amy was right when she said I pulled in every favor. I pulled in favors from out of state. I pulled in favors from people that I owe because now I owe them a favor. Amadeus was put together with bed sheets, window curtains, tablecloths, bed skirts, shower curtains, any fabric that we could find that was reasonably priced, we pulled it in and made it work. Half the time these people did not know they were wearing bed sheets and shower curtains. But it all came together beautifully, and I am very, very proud of Amadeus, and I am very thankful that Amy invited me to go along on this trip. Thank you very much.
What I was going to say. It is impossible to give an award to one person when every single person that works on your show is doing the best job in the world. So why doesn't everybody get one? So this person that I chose this time was a person that texted me every day. What do you need? What do you need? I'd be like, oh, we don't have a show, it's terrible, I hate it. Okay, what do you need me to do? What do you need to do? I'll be in tomorrow. I'll be in. Diane Cook. I couldn't have got to do this without you. Just being my cry support. I was constantly bitching at her and complaining at her. And she was like, okay, we'll figure it out. So I love her. She is a joy to have on any show, and this is so well deserved. Thank you.
Every ounce of support you have to everyone, but especially the director, because it's all in their hands. And Emily deserves all of what I gave her, and then some. And I love her. And thank you, everybody. Thank you.
The last Backstage Award presenter is that so many of the things you want to say are said. And it is so true. All the things that you've heard Amy say, I mean, everything is so true. It takes so many people to put on a fantastic production, and I had an outstanding crew that stayed with me to the end, who really, without each of them, we wouldn't have been able to do what we did. And they all deserve that recognition. But there was one person, when I knew I had to choose one person, I thought about this and I said, you know, there was someone who was with me from the very beginning, all the way through to the last day of the show, and without his support of me and being my second set of eyes, I would not have been able to put on the production that all of you who got to see the show really enjoyed. And that is my assistant director, Mike Soboczynski.
Come on.
In a number of shows with Mid-Michigan Family Theater, and what impressed me about him was his dedication to every show he was in. He was someone that had, you know, he's guileless, and someone you knew you could trust, who would have your back. And when I was thinking of, okay, who else is going to be on my team? I mean, I already had Tom Ferris, who I could not have done this without either. And Fran Luddington, but when I thought of who could be by my side every day that I could trust to be there and be that second set of eyes, and not only be a second set of eyes, but someone who was watching for things and helping out with the cast on a ground level basis. He interfaced with certain cast members. He helped Nicholas and Miles in ways that I wouldn't have been able to, because he connected with them and was able to bring out the performances that you saw in James. And having such a large crew, that was so important. He saw things that I didn't see. He made suggestions that made me think about directions that I was going in. So he was instrumental in helping me make this such a great production. And I know that he also spent a lot of late nights because we were texting back and forth most of the time till past midnight on notes, because there were so many notes, as the cast all knows. So Mike, I am so pleased that you said yes when I asked you to be my AD, and I cannot think of a more deserving person for me.
Thanks very much. Wasn't too many notes an Amadeus thing? Okay, I want to thank Linda. I also want to give acknowledgement to Fran and Elisha and Tom for the work that they did. Should I make this short, or should I try to tell an improv story?
3 hours!
Okay, thanks very much.
Please welcome the last of our play performances, a scene from The Exonerated.
I've been out 3.5 years, going on 4. We got married, what?
2 years, about 2 years.
She didn't want me to come home, you know, like at night. But I don't want to come home. I want to stay out. Because if I come home, it feels like I'm was still locked up. And you know, there's lots of times when she goes to the store, she got to knock on the door to let me know she's coming in.
Yeah, he jumps. When I first moved in, I would just be walking in, walking out. He would just jump up because he's just in that mode, you know? And I would say, okay, he just needs to take a minute to calm down because he's just used to that, you know? It's stuff like that, it just plays with your mind.
Yeah. I was in there 7.5 years. And it ain't ever gonna go away as far as I'm concerned. Lost my relaxation. A lot of other stuff too, but you can't put your thoughts on what you could have lost or what you have lost. I said I could have been a millionaire, or a police chief, or one of the famous black horse trainers.
And they won't even give him his license back.
The racing commission won't give me my license back.
Can you believe that?
I went to the county, passed my test with flying colors. They asked me if I'd ever been convicted of a crime, so I put down on the application no, because the Supreme Court, they overturned it. They wrote me back saying I lied.
Tell them what you told your cousin.
So I told my cousin, I said, I don't need a gun shop around here. I'm going to see if they're going to deny me. So I went and got the gun. But the racing commission won't give me my license back. I don't even get a gun, but I can't get a license to drive a horse.
He can't do something that he likes to
I
do.
can't do something I like to do. And you know, all I want is, I'd like to have me this here woman, a nice piece of land out in the country, a nice barn, tractor, a couple of horses. I don't ask for much. But they saying I can't. Because of their mistake.
So we established earlier that practically every single one of us in this room are volunteers, and now we get to pick one to win the You Take the Cake Volunteer Award. Here to present that is the president of our little organization, Brian Farnham.
Well, hello everyone. This has been such a wonderful night. Matt said it better than I can. The fact of the matter is every single one of us in this room is a volunteer. Riverwalk literally would not exist without our volunteers. Whether you are on stage, off stage, backstage, a board member, an officer of the theater, we all give so much to this organization, and we are so grateful for each and every one of you and everything that you give to us. So I really want to make sure that we express our gratitude to you at least once a year, if not every single day of the year. And I hope that in the coming season we do that as best as we possibly can. With that having been said, the You Take the Cake Award is given to one volunteer every year who shows a special skill, a special dedication to Riverwalk. And actually it was Sarah Hayner who brought this nominee to our attention, and we were so very grateful that she did. This individual has done an immense amount of work for Riverwalk over the years, as well as other community theaters in the area. I have a little bit of an anecdote because I think it's extremely funny. So when I moved to Lansing, I actually had not done theater for quite a while. And when I moved here, I started messaging the theaters all over the area and said, hey, I'm interested in getting involved again. I had been an actor in community theater, but during college I hadn't done it. And so I said, you know, if you have a role, if you're doing auditions, please just let me know. And Over the Ledge Theater actually had just auditioned for a show called Zombies from the Beyond, which was really cool, and honestly everyone should look at it. And it was really funny because when I messaged them and said, hey, I'm looking to potentially get involved, Joe Dixon actually messaged me and said, you know, we just held auditions and we're looking for someone in their 20s who's a scientist, who can sing baritone or tenor, And I got a little confused because that sounded a lot like me. And so I went to this individual's house and I auditioned for, I'm just gonna say his name, Adam Carlson. So I auditioned for Adam Carlson, and I think his exact words were, "Is this a joke? Like, is there a candid camera here?" Because I literally was exactly what he was looking for that role. It was very bizarre. And that was my first introduction to theater in the area. And ever since then, that wonderful experience that I first had with this man right here, who had a much bigger beard when I first met him, but this man introduced me to Lansing Theater. He, in many ways, made me who I am today when it comes to Lansing Theater. And as you all know, not only in this season, but previous seasons, he has done an immense amount of work for not just Lansing Theater, but Riverwalk in particular. In addition to serving as our custodian, he has done an immense amount of props work, and more importantly, puppetry work. And I just have to say, for those of you who have never worked backstage with a show that uses puppets, it is unbelievably complicated. It is so hard to create puppets that make people excited, that make people go, wow, how interesting and how cool. And I will say from my experience in James and the Giant Peach, watching Adam not only make these puppets, but work with our younger folks who were learning how to use the puppets to make them look realistic and make the audience so engaged and love our show. It was unbelievable to see. And so I am so excited to be able to give this award tonight to Adam Carlson, who deserves it for not just work on James and the Giant Peach, but for every show that he has contributed in so many ways over the many years. Ladies and gentlemen, Adam Carlson.
But I do have to echo what Brian said. Everybody should check out Zombies from the Beyond. It is an amazing show. But thank you very much. And I guess I just like making puppets.
Let me tell you a quick story about the genius of Adam Carlson. And I don't think even necessarily all of the Rocky Horror people know this, but at the early scene in Rocky Horror, you saw the Phantoms were holding tombstones. He had elaborately created some inside jokes for each of the tombstones. Trivia about 50s musicals, or 50s horror movies that I didn't even get completely. It was just brilliant. I wish those survived. I'm sure they're gone now. Just brilliant stuff, Adam. Congratulations. We have a few more competitive awards to give away. Please welcome our next presenters, Frog and Toad.
So we know that a lot of you pre-gamed before you came to the Barneys. You had a little something before you came. And I just want to say, next time you want to pre-game something, come see Connor at Cass at 43. And come see me at Pure Options if you make me dabbling a little bit on that. But until then, here are the nominees. Here are the nominees for Best Lead Actor in a Musical. Brian Farnham, James and the Giant Peach. Luca Posset and Louis C. Elson for Rocky Horror. Quentin Villa for The Trail to Oregon. And Riley Harai for James and the Giant Peach. And the Barney for Best Lead Actor in a Musical goes to Luca Posset and Louis C. Elson. Rocky Horror.
I've been a lot of things this year. I've been, I'm not quite sure what I was this last time, actually. A little bit of magic, a little bit of nothing, a little bit of everything, and a little bit of a narrator. I was also entirely myself and a sweet transvestite from the transsexual planet of Transylvania. And while Lewis Elson isn't here to accept this award with me, I owe a lot of my role to how he did his role, and I hope at least a little bit that goes vice versa for him as well. I would like to thank somebody who is not here today for this award specifically. Their name is Rowan Rowe. They are the reason that I was able to put my all into Rocky Horror for a reason that I did not expect, and it was a very random conversation, a very late night at the Avenue, where they unlocked my brain about how to think about Rocky Horror and the character of Frankenfurter as a whole. But again, Rocky Cast, Horror Cast, everybody that was involved in Rocky Horror, Shannon, Aaron, everybody, thank you so much. I could not have been your Frankenfurter without you.
Hi. I'm the quieter one. I love him so much. So I have the award in my hands for Best Lead Actor in a Non-Musical. And I saw all these shows except for one. Sorry, Heath. But every single one of these actors I've worked with, and they are all brilliant performers. For Best Lead Actor in a Non-Musical, I have Dope Bloss for Moonglow as Dope. I have Heath Sartorius for Admissions for Charlie. I have Jeff Magnuson for Amadeus for Antonio Saleri. And I have Julian Van Dyke for The Exonerated. And the winner is Heath Sartorius.
This is my first party for acting, so that's cool. And all my friends are here, so that's nice. And you still have my DVD, so you can still watch it. I want to thank the other people were thanking God earlier, and my character was an atheist, but I still want to thank him. But Julian Van Dyke in The Exonerated did an amazing job. That whole show it ain't easy to do a show like that. I haven't acted with Jeff yet, and I'm as jealous as Salieri that other people have gotten to. And Dope, I hate that guy. Dope was one of the people that talked me into actually auditioning for Admissions. And the idea that I would ever not audition for it, because it's one of my favorite shows I've ever gotten to do, one of my favorite roles I've ever gotten to do. I love working with Bob. He is an actor's director. I'm so grateful he sees anything in me, and I'm so excited to do Angels in America with him. And it's going to be such a great time. And so I thank him for leading an incredible cast of Jane, Colleen, Jeff, and Emily Clark, who is amazing, and everyone should love her and hug her, and she deserved all the praise she got tonight as well, and also talked me into this role. So thank you guys so much.
All right, now, for Best Lead Actress in a Non-Musical, Barbara Stauffer in Moonglow. Emily Clark in Admission. Holly K. Cannon, The Exonerated. And Taylor Hazlett, Amadeus. And the Barney goes to Barbara Stauffer, Maxine Bermuda.
And this was the most challenging role I've ever played. I have to give my utmost thanks to Emily for trusting that I could memorize those lines. And it was a challenge. And my co-stars, all 6 of you, and I'm afraid if I say your names, I'm gonna forget who you are, right? Or be somebody else. So anyhow, it was an amazing cast to work with, an amazing director to work with, stage manager to work with. Marcus, you saved my ass a bunch of times. Anyhow, thank you. Thank you so much.
We are so close. I think there's like 2 awards left. All right. Gonna go home and take a mood snooze. Okay. This is the final acting award for the night, I believe. Lead actress in a musical. Ava Taub for James and the Giant Peach as the Ladybug. Sally Hexel and Alina Billard for Rocky Horror as a portrayal of Janet. Sophia Charles Bernard, James and the Giant Peach for the Spider. And Taryn Going, the Trail to Oregon as Mother. And the winner is Sophia Charles Bernard for
Wonderful. I still feel new here, but it was such a pleasure to be involved with James and the Giant Peach and to meet so many of you. Obviously, I have to meet many more. But it really seems to be a beautiful theater community. I just moved to Lansing in January, so I just decided it was my birthday, and I felt like singing, so I went to auditions. And then here I was. So, this has been such a pleasure. Thank you so much, and I look forward to working with more of you in the future.
Welcome to Riverwalk, Sophia. Still not an insect. Our next presenters combined have more than 100 credits in the Lansing area and more than 20 Barney Awards. And combined is really the only way to think about them. Please welcome icons of Riverwalk Theater, Jane and Mark Zussman.
the dwindling few who actually did perform at the Okemos Barn Theater. I did a little research and found out that between the two of us, we represent 100 years. My first show was 1972. My first Barney was 1973. Mark's first show was 1976. His first Barney wasn't until 1992 after he married me. And we're still doing it. So.
Some of those are the same years, so 100 years is not completely separate. But we opted out of being performing with the ensemble today, even though that's what we're part of mainly.
Giant Peach.
What was I saying? Of the Giant Peach. James and the Giant Peach. Actually, only because we got to watch it from the audience, you know, which we never got to see since we were in it. So that was it. So meanwhile, with no further ado, the nominations for Director of a Non-Musical: Alan Greenberg, The Exonerated. Amy Rickett, Amadeus. Tom Robinson, Admissions. Emily Clark, Moonglow. And Kate Clark for Christmas Bell.
Bob Robinson, Admissions.
You know, it's a group effort, right? You saw three great performers for the scene from Admissions. It wasn't a comedy. And these people really, really worked hard to bring out the story of Admissions and to honor the playwright's words and to honor each other. Jane, of course, was in it, and Colleen, I don't know if Colleen's still there. But those five people formed one of the best casts I've ever had. Directing Admissions was a joy, despite the heavy nature of it. Every night when I went home, my very patient wife, Sue, would ask me, well, how'd it go? And I can honestly say to Jane and Emily, Heath and Jeff, I always said, it was terrific. I never went home once from a rehearsal in a bad mood. The reason why is the people I had in the cast, and Diane, and Bernie, and everybody who worked on the show. But those five actors were terrific. Any director will tell you that you're not going to have a good show unless you have a good cast.
That's right.
Right. And any director will tell you that 70% of how your show turns out is directly related to who you cast. And I was so fortunate, so very, very fortunate. So, thank you for this very much, and come and see Angels in America.
We have Aidan Supal, The Trail to Oregon. Karen Hoffman, Shannon Bowen for Rocky Horror. Linda Widener, James and the Giant Peach.
Best Director of a Musical. The winners are Aaron Hoffman and Fran Muller.
A lot of people told us during this process or before the process, why would you guys direct together? It's gonna ruin your friendship. So a little background about Aaron and I, we met as actors. We read together once for a show my husband was directing. Neither of us were cast in.
We then stalked each other for several years.
Several years. It was very weird, but cool. And then I just found a reason for us to do a show, and it was called Matt and Ben. And
tens of people saw the show.
Notice the silence by how many people were like, yeah, thank you, Jeff, Amy, the cooks, they came. So we played Matt, Damon, and Ben Affleck. And that really kind of cemented our friendship. And we saw Rocky Horror at Stratford. We go every year together. She introduced me to this. And I was like, we mutually were like, we're gonna do this. And everybody said, it's gonna ruin your friendship. And it strengthened us. When we did the last show and we did Strike, we looked at each other and said, well, what are we supposed to do now? We've seen each other round the clock for like months now. And literally we just got back from Disney together. That was our celebration for Rocky, was to go to Disney World without the kids. It was awesome. I'm sorry, it was so good. It was really good, it was very hot. But what she said before is true. If you can find an iota of a person who can be your theater soulmate, I hope that you find that, because I found it in her. Getting to see her this year, not only as a co-director, but to see what she got to do with our friends in Moonglow was just extraordinary. So I do want to say two quick things. This is really long, I'm sorry. It's so long! It's so long! Two quick things. I love this community. I appreciate so much this group of people. They're kind of spread out a little bit now, but these folks are incredible. Everything that they did, it was insane. It was off the rails to have two casts, but we wanted to do something big and bold and scary for Riverwalk and to do it for audiences. And we loved every single minute of what they did. And I'm truly grateful for all of them. I am humbled by them and every single person that came onto this project, some of whom we begged, borrowed, and stealed. I have to tell you how much I love the Smiths. I can see them right now. So I really hope that everybody can have an experience like we had. Thank you so much. I'm giving it to her.
Look, Ma, I did a thing. I love you all, bye.
Before we wrap things up, because people are walking out on me by the dozens, I'd be remiss if I didn't thank Sarah and Amanda for putting all of this together. Code and Leon up there. Someone you didn't know was here. Fox Alstrom from my staff has been recording this entire thing. We'll put this up on YouTube eventually. And the woman who won three times more trophies than I did tonight, Alicia over here, keeping things running. Just a couple more awards to give out, and Brian's going to do that, starting with the President's Award.
We're so close to the end. I know this is a long award ceremony, and I appreciate you all staying in. We've got a couple former presidents in the house, and you know that one of the best things you get to do as the president of this theater, because there's a lot of things that are not great, but the best thing that you get to do as president of this theater is choose one person every year that you get to give a special President's Award to. Many of you have heard at this point that we have someone who's leaving us in December. I'm not quite sure if he's in the house at this moment. But Mr. Mike Syracuse has been our theater manager for over 3 decades. We are so happy for him that he is able to enjoy his retirement, and we are so devastated that he is leaving us this year. So this year's President's Award goes to Mike Syracuse, and Get the hell out of here, Mike. Get the hell out of here. So I think a lot of you realize how much work that Mike does, but I don't think anyone truly realizes all of the work that Mike has done to make this theater successful. I am not exaggerating when I say that Riverwalk would not exist without this man. He has been here for the last 30 years. He has been here certainly as long as I've been in the Lansing area, and 3 times as much as that. He not only keeps the business running, he makes sure we have licenses. He makes sure that anybody's complaints are answered. He talks people off the ledge constantly. He sells our tickets. I literally cannot enumerate all of the things that this man has done to make this theater successful. The reason that we are all here, very literally, is because of Mike Syracuse. This year's President's Award was a no-brainer, and I'm so devastated to say goodbye to our dear friend, but I'm so excited that he's going to be able to enjoy his retirement and come back and see all the shows that we're doing in the future. Mike, we love you.
Is this because I'm leaving? I've been in 2 shows here at Riverwalk Theater since I started. And the first one was my dream come true. I got to be rude to a customer. In the trip to Bountiful, I was the rude ticket taker at the Greyhound bus station. And I was a horse in Equus. That was my last acting job because I had to come down to the box office to fix a problem dressed as a horse. And I thought, they don't pay me to be in a show, they pay me to work the show. So that was the last time I was on stage. So I'm a little nervous. But I have to say, 30 years goes by really fast, and some of you haven't even gotten to that age. But every year goes a little faster, and it has been a joy. And I have enjoyed this job. I was going to only be here a couple years. And what do you know, 30 years later, I'm ready to start my life over. So thank you all.
Dear Lord, it's still me. So the last awards to be given today are the Members' Choice Awards. And a couple of years ago, we decided that we were going to do Members' Choice Awards for both musicals and non-musicals. So we'll get to that in just a second. I will say, those of you who are in the cast, for the sake of time, we're going to not ask you to come down because that's going to be a lot. And we're going to wait until after the show, but I would love for you to come down after the production is over and take a picture with your certificate, because it's going to be amazing. As a last note, I want to say to everyone, this place, I've already sort of said it, but this place literally could not exist without our volunteers. And I know that we've given out a lot of awards, And I'm not joking when I say that every single one of you deserves an award. You have given so much to this place, and I cannot even give you a number of what it would take for us to pay people to do all of the things that you do. There is such passion and such love that exists in this community, and I wouldn't do what I do. I know Jeff wouldn't have done what he did. I know Tom wouldn't have done what he did if we didn't have the love and support of our community. Being the president of this theater can be tough sometimes, but the reason that we continue doing it is because of all of you, and also people who are not in this room right now. You are rock stars, and whether you won a Little Gold Man or not, we love you, we appreciate you, we want you to come back. And because there's been a bit of shameless self-promotion on this stage so far, I'm gonna go ahead and say, audition for You're in Town, because it's gonna rock. And with that having been said, I am very pleased to announce the last two awards of tonight. We're going to start with a non-musical. So as you know, or maybe you don't know, if you are a member of this theater, you get a vote in what your favorite show was for the season. If you're not a member, you should become a member because you get your voice heard. We've got a lot of different things that we are going to offer our membership in the new year, and we really hope that you consider giving donations. It can be as little as $15. We love all of our members, and we really appreciate you. And the members have spoken this year, and I've been told that the different votes have been tallied, and it was really, really close for both of our categories. But for non-musicals, this is so much power, I love it. For non-musicals, the winner of this year's Members' Choice Award is the cast and crew of Moonglow. The entire second act. You guys were amazing. Thank you so much for all of your work. And the final award of tonight goes to the Members' Choice for Best Musical. And I am very pleased to announce that the Members' Choice Award for Best Musical goes to the cast and crew of The Rocky Horror Show. Well done.
Oh, that's right, he's got to take his place. Well, there's really only one thing left to do, and that's take one final step to the right. Ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between, please welcome my friends, the mostly sober of the Rocky Horror Show.
I see you shiver with anticipation. Now, darlings.
We are wild and untamed things. We are bees with the deadly sting. You take a hit and your mind goes sting. Your mind will sing. So let the party and the sounds rock on. We're gonna shake it till the light is gone. Roast in my world, keep me safe from my trouble and pain. We are wild and untamed things. We are bees with a deadly sting. You take a hit and your mind goes ping. Your whole world will sing. So let the party
on your hips.